Content warning for movie spoilers, profanity, violence, gore, and horror elements. Well, we're back, baby. So, if you're getting this download, I'm letting you know that I tried the Chicken Fried Horror podcast for a few episodes and realized that that wasn't going to work. And the discount storytime model of storytelling is the way to go. And so here we are. Sorry about the whiplash back and forth, but I thought it best to stick with what is working. Now, I am going to ask some favors. If you're getting this download, would you please do me a big favor? In the show notes, there is a click the link to say hi. Can you just send me a quick message that, yes, you still got this episode? And also, going forward, I really want to know what genres you guys want to hear. I started Chicken Fried Horror, realized I love horror movies. I cannot write just horror. I have to write also some action, some comedy, romance, things like that. So whatever television shows, movies, books, comics, the type of entertainment you like. Do you like romance? Do you like action, flat out comedy, horror, etc., suspense? If you could just send me a quick note and let me know, I'll tell you the next few episodes are going to be based on horror, but I want to open it up to what sort of stories you want to hear. So if you would do that for me, I would really appreciate it. And here we go. So this episode is Bluer. It is a parody of the 1996 horror movie Thinner by Stephen King, only it has Gargamel. And our resident voice actor, Larry, does a bang-up job in the Gargamel voice. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Friedville, a quaint little New England town that rolled up the sidewalks when the sun went down. Most days, the town folks went about their day in simple bliss, happy with their lives. But this day was not like most days. The little town of Friedville had a most unusual set of visitors. A couple of outsiders sneered as they walked down the cheerful sidewalks of Friedville's town square. The man, Gargamel, was balding with rotten teeth and wore a patched black robe. His wife, Andrea, wore a red and pink dress with a red headband that held her long golden hair. Her neck tattoo read, "Gargle Smell," her pet name for her husband. Just behind them trailed their orange cat, Azrael, who hissed and swiped at anyone nearby. The unusual couple passed by a bakery owned by the town baker, Billy Halleck, and his assistant, Clumsy. Billy hurriedly finished up for the day and rushed to leave, for this was his 20th wedding anniversary, and he and his wife Heidi planned to celebrate at Friedville's finest restaurant, the Gristle Gorge. As Billy hurried out the bakery door, he accidentally bumped into Gargamel, causing him to nearly fall over. "Be careful, you stupid oaf!" snapped Gargamel, and gave Billy the middle finger. Sorry, gotta run, it's my anniversary." As Billy ran off, he quickly ducked as a bolt rushed by his head and hit the side of his bakery. "Hey, Crossbow Jim! Be careful with that Crossbow Jim!" Across the street, holding his favorite of many crossbones, Crossbow Jim yelled back, "Sorry, you know how much I love crossbows, and these crossbows can be so darn unpredictable. Sorry again, crossbows." And another bolt went flying randomly. Billy laughed. "Oh, Crossbow Jim, you scamp." That night, Billy and Heidi left the Gristle Gorge after a lovely anniversary dinner, a fried cube steak, potato soakers, and a pitcher of Gristle Ritas. As they drove home in Billy's 1958 Plymouth Fury, Heidi unbuckled her seatbelt. Billy looked over and said, "Hey, babe, why are you taking off your seatbelt? That's not safe." She slid over to Billy. Hey, babe, do you remember when we were dating and I would help you on the road? Billy's cheeks reddened and a grin crossed his face. Hey, babe, yeah, but, we shouldn't. Hey, babe, just consider it an anniversary gift to my wonderful husband. And Heidi kissed his ear, his neck, and then downward as Billy let out a long sigh. At the same time, Gargamel and his wife, Andrea, were shopping at the town's 24-hour celery emporium. Gargamel pushed the cart and asked, Hey, babe, how much celery does the recipe call for again?
Oh, babe, I forgot. And
She checked her purse.
I left my printout of the recipe in the van. I'll be right back.
Billy's car barreled down the road and occasionally swerved as Billy focused on his wife's affections. Andrea walked out of the 24-hour celery emporium towards the van. She dropped the van's keys and knelt down to pick them up just as Billy's car hurtled into view. Andrea stood up just in time to see the headlights pounce. Billy screamed when he saw the woman's face, way too close to the car and approaching way too fast. He hit the brakes, but it was too late. And with a sickening thump, Andrea was struck and rolled over the top of the car. Heidi, who had hit the side of her head on the steering wheel, shot up.
Billy, what the hell are you doing?
I hit someone. It was a woman I saw this afternoon by the bakery. He looked back, but couldn't see anyone.
Where is she?
Behind us. She went over the car roof.
Well, we should check and make sure she's okay.
You're right, Billy said, and then put his car in reverse to go back and see if she was all right. Oh no, now she's under the car, cried Billy.
That's not a safe place to be, Billy. She can't be under the car. She might get hurt.
You're right. Hold on. Billy put the car in drive and pulled forward.
Billy, is she still behind us? Is she okay?
I don't know. Let's go back and check on her. Billy put the car in reverse again.
Billy, I think she's under the car again.
Oh no, I'll pull forward. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. That night at St. Fried General Hospital, Gargamel paced anxiously while his wife was in emergency surgery. Dr. Mike soon came out. His surgical gown was covered in blood, and with a grim face, he said, Mr. Gargamel, we were able to save. Gargamel's thick eyebrows raised hopefully.
You were able to save her. You saved my beautiful wife. Oh, thank you, doctor.
Dr. Mike shook his head. No, I hadn't finished. We were able to save this piece of her. Everything else was crushed into a gravelly pulp. Here. Dr. Mike handed Gargamel a wet paper bag and turned to walk away. Then he turned back. Oh, and, Mr. Gargamel? Stunned, Gargamel looked over.
Yes, doctor?
Here's your invoice. Dr. Mike handed him the bill and walked away. Gargamel looked inside the paper bag. Tears welled as he pulled out a flap of neck skin with the gargle smell tattoo. However, all that was left was la smell. Gargamel gently pressed it up against his cheek. He jumped as a hand grabbed his shoulder. It was Billy who had come to apologize. I am so sorry. She came out of nowhere. I didn't have time to stop. Gargamel scowled.
What about running over her an additional 17 times?
Look, I came here to apologize, not to argue who ran over whom 17 times. Gargamel's lips twisted in a cruel smile as he approached Billy.
You are going to pay for this. I will make sure of that.
Billy backed up, but Gargamel was quick. He reached out his hand and stroked Billy's cheek, and he said, Blua. Billy felt his cheek. Bluer? What does that mean?
You'll find out, baker man from town. You'll soon find out.
Gargamel spat on the ground near Billy's feet and stormed out of the hospital. The next morning, when Billy went to the dining room for breakfast, Heidi and their teenage daughter, Linda, almost screamed.
Hey, babe, are you feeling okay? Your skin is, well, an odd color.
Billy looked at his arms, and sure enough, they were bluish. Huh, babe? Weird. I feel fine, though. Probably nothing to worry about.
I don't think that's normal, babe.
Linda looked at her watch.
Oh, geez, I better get going before I'm late to school. Love you both.
She gave her mother and father a kiss on the cheek and hurried off to school. As Billy drank his morning protein shake, Heidi grew more concerned.
Billy, promise me, if that rash gets any worse, to have Dr. Mike look at it.
Okay, I promise. Aw, geez, I'm running late too. I'll call you later, babe. Billy headed to his bakery, but not before giving her a kiss, which he had to lift on his toes a bit. Billy thought, that's odd. Was Heidi getting taller? At the bakery, Billy's assistant Clumsy also asked about his bluish skin. Billy brushed it off and said, probably just something I ate. Hey, be careful with those. Oh, Clumsy, you scamp. As bakery customers came and went, they commented with concern over Billy's bluish skin color, and he finally called Dr. Mike's clinic, who ordered labs and scheduled an appointment. A few days later, Billy sat in Dr. Mike's office, swinging his legs, which he hadn't been able to do since he was a child. Dr. Mike looked over the lab results and said, the good news is everything looks normal. Your hematology, chemistries, and fluid levels are, well, better than mine, to be honest. Billy tilted his head. So, if everything is normal, what's wrong with me? Honestly, I'm not sure. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe a virus or something you were eating. Have you changed soap or detergents or dietary habits? Billy thought, well, there are these new berries I found that I'm using in my pies. They're called snurf berries and grow wild. But that was after my skin started changing color. Billy conveniently left out the incident with Gargamel. I don't know, Billy, but I'm going to ask around, see if my colleagues have any ideas, and when I find something, I'll call you. Thanks, Doc. Oh, and this is for you. They're selling like crazy. Billy handed Dr. Mike a snurf berry pie. Thank you, Billy, and this is for you. Dr. Mike handed Billy an invoice. When Billy got home that night, Heidi was furious.
Willem, Halleck, how could you? Do you think clothes monies just grows on trees?
Stunned, Billy asked Heidi what she was talking about. What are you talking about, Heidi? Stunned Billy asked.
Your clothes. I went to the closet and...
She saw the look of confusion on his face.
Go look in the closet.
Billy shrugged and went upstairs, noticing he now had to take 2 steps for each stair. When did the steps get so much taller? He thought thoughtfully. When Billy opened the closet door, his side was filled with white shirts and white pants, neatly hung on little hangers. Well, look at those snurfy threads, Heidi asked.
Did you buy these?
No, I don't know how they got here, but I'm digging it, Billy said and reached up to grab a shirt. Hey, babe, a little help? As he could not reach high enough to pull the shirt off the hanger. When he tried it on, the shirt was initially too big, but it quickly shrunk to a perfect fit. He tried on a pair of white pants that did the same thing. Neato! Heidi shook her head.
Billy, what's happening to you? I don't like this.
While she talked, Billy rummaged through the closet floor and found a large pair of white shoes and a white brimless wool cap. Why not? Don't I look snurfy? Tears welled in Heidi's eyes.
I don't even understand you anymore. It's like you're talking a different language.
She ran off crying, but Billy shrugged his shoulders. What crawled up her snurf? That night, Billy dreamed he was at a carnival. Before him, Gargamel sat on a throne made of lead pipes.
It's time to pay, baker from town.
Billy was thrust forward by the crowd. Gargamel grabbed his arm and slashed at him with a straight razor. Billy's blood drained from his arm all over the lead pipes. Then, impossibly, the lead turned to gold. He looked up as Gargamel sliced the razor blade across Billy's throat. He awoke in a cold sweat. Alarmed, Heidi asked,
Billy, what's wrong?
Billy whispered, I think I just snurfed the bed. The following day, the line of customers buying Snurfberry pies ran almost around the bakery. Billy and Clumsy were hustling just to keep up. It didn't help that the bakery equipment now seemed bigger and the countertop higher, which just made for extra effort. Billy had just handed a pie to a blue-skinned Miss LaFay, whose T-shirt with a picture of Excalibur on it seemed almost comically oversized. Next in line was Mayor Papa, who wore, instead of his usual business suit, a red shirt and red pants with red shoes and a red brimless wool cap. The outfit, along with his blue skin, set off his long white beard.
Well, thank you for the Snurfberry pies, Billy. I can't get enough of them.
And so it was for the rest of the town, except two. Heidi refused to even try a Snurfberry, and she adamantly refused to let Linda eat them. One month later. Linda was curled up on the living room sofa when Heidi walked in with a big bowl of popcorn. Linda asked, Is Dad joining us for movie night? Linda wrapped herself in a cozy blanket. No, sweetie. He just called to say someone placed a huge order for oatmeal cookies with extra raisins to be picked up first thing in the morning, so he has to work late tonight. Linda took some popcorn and looked at it while she spoke. Mom, is Dad okay? Heidi reached over and rubbed her daughter's back. He is. He will be. Dr. Mike has been running lots of tests and talking to other doctors. He thinks it might be a gland problem, that's all. But if it's Dad's glands, why are the other... Heidi interrupted. Hey, let's not worry about that right now. It's movie night, right? I know. Why don't we rent my Oxford year? She smiled at her daughter and fought back her own lip quiver. Linda's eyes brightened. Ooh, yes, my Oxford year doesn't look insufferable at all. They snuggled under the blankets and watched their movie until Heidi yelped. She grabbed at her neck and pulled a dart out of her neck in surprise. What the heck is... and slumped down. Mom? Mom? Linda asked when Gargamel appeared from the dark hallway. Hee 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 hee. Linda shrank back. Who are you? What did you do with my mom?
I am...
Who are you?
I was going to say, I am...
What did you do to my mother?
If you let me explain, I am...
Who are you?
F it.
Gargamel shot a tranquilizer dart at Linda, and she slumped down next to her mother. He then looked at the TV.
Oh, is that my Oxford year? I hear that's 111 minutes of your life you can never get back.
Gargamel left a note on the kitchen table, and he carried Heidi and Linda to his van and drove off. A little while later, Billy returned to an empty home. Hey, babe. Heidi? Linda? Did you start the movie without me? Maybe we could watch my Oxford year. That doesn't sound like a movie that would make me gouge my eyeballs out. He then saw the note on the kitchen tabletop, which was at his eye level.
Dear Billy, I hope this letter finds you well. Did you have fun making all those oatmeal cookies with extra raisins? As you read this, I am breaking into your bakery and stealing them, and I'm not paying. And no tip, ha! But it was the perfect distraction while I kidnapped your wife and daughter. If you want them to live, come to the schoolhouse at midnight. I said you would pay for killing my wife, Andrea. Now I will feast on your agony. Fondly, Gargamel.
Heidi and Linda awoke to the harsh light of a single bare light bulb dangling above them. Stagnant air reeked of sweat and fear. Wet mold grew on the filthy brick walls as water dripped from the ceiling onto the yellowed vinyl flooring. Heidi's throat scratched as she tried to wiggle out of the chair she was tied to. Where are we? Linda's eyes widened as she paled with fear. No, not this, Heidi asked. Honey, what's wrong? Where are we? The office. The school counselor's office. A harsh laugh cut through the thick air.
Oh,
It looks like the bait is awake. Ha 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 ha.
Heidi's maternal instinct kicked in and fed her rage. You! How dare you! I swear to the goddess Tay-Tay, if you touch one hair of my daughter's head... A large chair behind a metal desk squeaked and turned around. Gargamel munched on an oatmeal raisin cookie and stroked his cat Azrael.
Relax! I'm not planning to hurt either of you. You are simply bait. The real catch is Billy, or what's left of Billy.
That caught Heidi by surprise. What do you mean, what's left of Billy? Gargamel grinned sourly.
Haven't you noticed? Certain changes over past month. Bluer skin, white clothes, using the word snurf all the time, and certainly you, as his wife, may have noticed something.
Heidi nodded. I wondered where his penis went.
Yes, but you see, turning Billy into a snurf was only the first part of my revenge. He will pay for killing my dear sweet Andrea, but more than that, he will make me rich. Rich! Ha 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 ha!
Linda asked, What do you mean? My dad will make you rich? As Gargamel spoke, Azrael hopped down and crept into the dark hallway beyond the door.
What is it, Azrael? Go check it out.
Gargamel continued,
I am the master of alchemy and an apt student of transmutation. Do you know what transmutation is?
Linda nodded. Changing one metal into another, but it's not real. Gargamel smirked.
Very good. But it is real. It is very real. But you need the right ingredients. And your father, he has the perfect ingredient pumping through his veins.
Heidi paled. His blood?
Yes. Snurf blood turns lead into gold, but the blood has to be fresh. So that is why I'm luring him here.
Heidi whispered to herself. To the one building riddled with lead. The schoolhouse!
Exactly. And if he wants you two to live, he will splash his blood all over these lead pipes and lead paint, and I will be rich.
Heidi tried to stand. You monster! Gargamel ignored her and cocked his head.
Shh! Someone's coming. You better hope it's Billy.
Gargamel pulled out a straight razor that glinted against the harsh light.
I'd rather not hurt you, but if you make a sound or try to warn him, I will slaughter your child and make you watch.
Footsteps came down the dark highway as Gargamel stood behind Heidi and Linda. Silence filled the thick air. Heidi turned to her daughter and whispered, Just look at me, sweetie. Whatever happens or whatever you hear, just keep looking at me, okay? Tears welled in both of their eyes as Linda nodded in understanding. But nobody walked into the room. It was all quiet. Uncomfortably quiet. Then a rush of activity as the orange cat dove into the room and hid behind Gargamel.
Azrael, what is it?
But the cat wouldn't move. Gargamel called into the hallway.
I'm glad you decided to join us, Billy. Why don't you come in? Only your blood needs to be spilled tonight, but I don't mind playing with your family if needed.
He grabbed Linda's hair and jerked her head back, his straight razor pressed against her young throat. From out of the darkness shambled Billy, now about 2 feet tall. Leave them alone, Gargamel. I'm doing what you asked. Gargamel moved the razor away, but just a little.
Good, good. Do as I say, and they may live to see the morning. Now, let me explain. When I was a little boy,
everyone else in the room groaned. The blue veins on Billy's forehead pulsed. Just tell me what you want already.
Fine, your blood. I want to spray every drop of your blood all over the lead paint in these walls, and the lead pipes, and the lead forks and spoons in the cafeteria, and the lead toys in the daycare, and then...
I got it. Fine. Just let them go. Billy took a step forward, and Linda shook her head. Daddy, no, don't do it. It's okay, sweetie. Your dad's got this. Now, Gargamel, what the snurf am I supposed to cut myself with? Gargamel thought for a moment and then shrugged his shoulders.
I overlooked that part. Catch!
And he tossed the razor to Billy. Huh! You lose, Gargamel. Now I have the razor. And with a mighty roar, Billy charged at Gargamel, all 2 feet of him. When he got enraged, Gargamel easily kicked Billy across the room, causing him to drop the razor.
You fool! You are so much smaller than I am. Did you think you could overpower me, the great Gargamel?
With a burning hatred in his eyes, Gargamel retrieved the razor and walked to a dazed Billy laying helplessly across the room.
I see I will have to do things myself. After I have drained your blood and made my fortune, maybe I'll take your wife and daughter with me. Perhaps make them into Smurfs. I could drain their blood or make them my pets.
At that, Azrael gave him some side-eye.
Sorry, assistants to my pet.
Billy was weak, with unfocused eyes, but he had enough energy to make a sound. La. Gargamel laughed.
What's that? You little pathetic.
La, la.
Yes, sing a song while I bleed you dry, you son of a...
La, 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 la.
Shut up! That is a really annoying song.
La, 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 la.
Stop it!
Then from the dark hallway came a single reply.
Wah.
Gargamel shut his eyes to the door and down the hall, but couldn't see anything. Then two voices sang.
La, 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 la.
Who's there? Show yourself.
Billy coughed and chuckled. Oh, they will.
What do you mean, they? I said come alone, didn't I? You know, now that I think about it, I don't remember if I put that in. I had AI do most of it, but it was certainly implied.
La, 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 la. La, 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 la.
Mayor Papa walked into the room. He may have only been 2 feet tall, but the spiked baseball bat he shouldered looked like it could do some damage. Next came Mrs. LaFay and her husband Arthur, each carrying sharp daggers. Then more and more townfolk piled into the room, carrying everything from electric drills to large pliers. Gargamel shouted over the noise,
What is this? I only curse Billy.
Then Clumsy Smurf came in carrying a Snurfberry pie, as he was not allowed to carry a sharp weapon. True to form, Clumsy tripped, and Snurfberry filling spilled everywhere. Gargamel looked at the filling.
Snurfberries? Somehow Snurfberries started growing here? And then you bake the Snurfberry pies, the curse goes passed along. How interesting. But it doesn't matter. I'm still bigger than you. It may take me a while, but I'll dissect each of you and make this schoolhouse my golden palace. I'll be back.
Gargamel kicked his way through the crowd of Snurfs who were not as quick as he.
So long, losers. I'll be back, and you will all pay with your blood.
Gargamel disappeared down the hallway with Azrael on his heels. The floor shook. Everyone watched the darkness. Then Gargamel's body flung out of the darkness like a tossed doll and smashed against the wall. A colossal figure, having to stoop to avoid the ceiling, lurched into the room carrying a chainsaw. He was blue, muscular, and only wore white pants. His bare arms had a heart tattoo. "Hefty!" cheered the crowd. Gargamel tried to get up, but his legs failed him and he slid back down.
But that's impossible. You should have shrunk down.
Billy grinned. "You should have seen him before." Hefty started up his chainsaw and lurched towards Gargamel. The crowd of Snurfs chanted,
Kill, 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 kill.
Gargamel put up his arms to defend himself. He shut his eyes and wondered if he would see his wife again. The chainsaw stopped. Gargamel opened his eyes. Linda stood in front of him with her arms out protectively and pled, "No, Daddy, don't kill him. Daddy, please, no. This isn't you." Billy sighed. "Honey, it's me. I'll always be your dad. I may look different, but I'm still your dad." Linda shook her head. Not if you do this. My dad shows mercy and compassion. Yes, you did run over his wife 18 times, but that was an accident. Everyone knows you didn't mean to do it. But this is wrong. And my dad would know that." The crowd of Snurfs looked at each other, then lowered their weapons. Linda was right. So, instead, they tied Gargamel to a chair. Billy said, "By the time you get out of this, we'll be gone, far away." Heidi and Linda shot him quizzical looks. Billy continued,
We can't live with the humans anymore. We continue to change, and who knows what monsters we may become. I don't know if I can keep you safe. Scouty Snurf found a promising spot with a big-ass mushroom. We'll all live there, where we won't hurt anyone.
Babe, no! Heidi's chin quivered. Linda reached out. Daddy, please? Billy held up his palm.
I love you both so much. As much as I'll miss you, I can sleep better knowing you're safe.
Tears fell down his cheek as he turned and ran down the dark hallway, afraid that if he stayed any longer he would change his mind. One by one, the other Snurfs left, each taking time to say goodbye to Heidi and Linda and to flip off Gargamel. Linda walked out with the last Snurf. As Heidi reached the doorway, Gargamel cackled,
Oh, how I hate you, Snurfs. And I know exactly where to find that spot with the big-ass mushroom. I'll butcher your husband if it's the last thing I...
A crossbow bolt tore through Gargamel's left eye as he fell backwards, dead. Heidi stood in the doorway holding a crossbow.
Crossbow Jim must have left this. He's right. These crossbows can be so darn unpredictable. Come on, kitty.
She turned and left, followed by her new pet cat. As the morning sun rose, the group of Snurfs headed into the wilderness.
Thank you for listening. I hope you're excited to have Discount Storytime back. Having tried Chicken Fried Horror, even just after a couple of weeks, I'm excited to be back in this seat. Next week will be Killer Clothes from Outer Space. So that's our take on the 1980s classic horror movie Killer Clowns from Outer Space. And we are also going to include some inspiration from the movie Slaxx, Slaxx. So that is a Canadian horror film. And if you want to hear a great discussion about Killer Clowns from Outer Space, I'm going to point you to my personal favorite podcast, Werewolf Ambulance. And in the show notes, there will be a link so you can hear their discussion of that movie. So until next time, play nice with others, be super duper kind to yourself, and as always, remember to laugh. Bye. The story Bluer was read by Larry Little. It was written and produced by Ken McCann. This is a Discount Storytime production.